We're back with this breaking news on Capitol Hill. A dramatic moment just happened in the Senate Judiciary Committee. Democrats walking out of a hearing on the nomination of Trump official Emil Bovee to a federal judgeship. Take a look. This was just moments ago.
To pass jurisdiction and pass precedent. Why are you doing this? This is outrageous.
This is a kangaroo court. That's all we have here,
This
Mr.
is
Chairman.
wrong. To violate your own rules without going by the mandates of the parliamentarian. This is unbelievable. There's a way to do this. If you want to force this through, if you want to ram this through, there's a way to do it in accordance to the rules as spelled out by the parliamentarian. It is simple. It is clear. There's a pathway to achieve what you're trying to achieve. But, sir, this lacks decency. It lacks decorum. It shows that you do not want to simply hear from your colleagues. This is absolutely wrong. And, sir, this is to me one of those moments where we are not showing common respect for each other on both sides. I have sat here when we were in the majority and listened to my colleagues' arguments, listened to their passionate statements, and then we voted. This is not that. This is us simply trying to rush through one of the most controversial nominees we've had under this presidential administration. Sir, God bless America. You are a good man. You are a decent man. Why are you doing this? What is Donald Trump saying to you that are making you do something which is violating the decorum of this committee, the rules of this committee, the decency and the respect that we have each other to at least hear each other out? I've sat through so many long speeches of my colleagues, heard their objections, listened with sincerity to try to see what their arguments are. But we are not doing that. Sir, this is wrong, and you know it. There are some people on this committee who are the least firebrand people, and they've walked out. Some of the least controversial people in the Senate, some of the people that worked the hardest to find bipartisan common ground have just walked out of this committee. And you don't even seem to care, but I know you do. I know your heart, Senator Grassley. This is wrong. I know the kind of person you are, and you know this is wrong. This is not necessary. What is another half an hour to allow senators to be heard? It's what the Constitution mandates. It's the ideals of the United States Senate. The world's most deliberative body should take a decent amount of time to deliberate. But here we're not doing that. Here we are jamming this through with some sense of false urgency. It's one thing not to hear from whistleblowers. It's another thing not to hold another hearing, but to not even allow my colleagues to have their moment to speak against this justice is just wrong. And I know you know this. I know you know this. The only time this rule has ever been overturned by both parties was done when one minority was trying to pull some stunt to stop the committee from hearing. This is not that. This is not the 2-hour rule. This is a basic element of the ideals of this committee, sir. It is the basic understanding of having debate and deliberation. It's a basic understanding of we can listen to each other even if we disagree, that we should have time and space and a forum to listen. Sir, this is just wrong in every way. It is wrong in every single way. This is an abuse of power. It's an undermining of the well-being and the integrity of this Senate and this committee that I for so long, I've been so honored to be a part of. This is wrong, sir, and I join with my colleagues in leaving. This is a sham.
Vote.
This is wrong.
We'll report.
We're better than this.
Pratt to the floor. Now we'll have to vote on these nominees for U.S. Attorney because...
Okay, let's find out what exactly went down. I want to bring in our Capitol Hill correspondent, NBC's Julie Sirkin, also joining us as former Democratic Senator Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota. Julie, what a moment there. I mean, the emotion and the outrage that we just heard, it got personal with Senator Booker appealing to Chuck Grassley, the chair of this committee. What exactly went down before that?
Yeah, Anna, telling him, I know you, Senator Grassley, I know you are a decent man, I know you are a decent human. What did Donald Trump, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he asked Grassley, what did Donald Trump say to you to make you violate the rules of this committee, the decorum? That is what Cory Booker had said. What I was so struck by, Anna, is that while Booker was talking, they continued voting. And what the Senate Judiciary Committee is meeting to vote on today is a whole slate of nominees for various judicial positions. The most controversial of them, Emil Bovee, who is somebody who works for the Trump administration. He is somebody who is very close to the president. And Democrats tried to slow walk his nomination intentionally because they've heard from whistleblowers who they say prove that Bovee had intended to tell the Trump administration to essentially defy court orders, especially when it comes to deporting illegal undocumented immigrants to countries they have no relation to. And so this is a moment where Booker tried to use to debate, to have extra time to talk about these nominees. We already know that he was going to try to stop particularly Bovee's nomination, but you saw there that Chuck Grassley, who was the Republican chairman of that panel, continued through their votes. Anyway, Booker and Democrats, all of them walking out without even finishing the votes. This committee is still meeting, of course, and with Republicans in the majority, they don't necessarily need Democrats present, but still just a stunning moment, especially in this committee that has seen, of course, flashpoints before, but generally the Republicans and Democrats do tend to work well together on this panel.
Senator, what's your reaction to what we just witnessed?
Well, my reaction is that this was a moment for the Democrats to really, state their case against this nominee. And the reason why it's important is there's big rumors in Washington that if there's a vacancy in the Supreme Court, this person may, in fact, be nominated for the Supreme Court. And so to basically have this day where you can speak to the public and say, this is why he is a bad nominee. This is why he's unqualified for this position, and he's unqualified for any position. He also is very controversial in the legal profession. Many Republicans outside of this committee and outside of the complicit Republican Senate are telling them, do not nominate him. He will be a thorn in your side going forward, and do not, basically push him through. They're going to get their chance on the floor. I doubt that Thune's going to shut down debate. But this is bigger than just this nomination. And this was the moment to basically state their case against this nominee. And Chuck Grassley, who knows better, as Booker said, he knows better, did not give them that opportunity. And I think for everybody listening, you say, why not? Because there's so much evidence against this guy. There is so much to say about this guy. Grassley does not want that in the public record. And it's just bad business. And when people say, oh, the Senate, there are people you can work with, Chuck Grassley's been that person you can work with. And this is really, I think, from him backing away from his support of IGs, from him basically doing the bidding of the administration, he has really injured his reputation with a lot of us who think very highly of Chuck.
Emil Bovee, you mentioned his background. He was, a lot of people might remember him on the defense team of Donald Trump here in New York before Trump was elected when it came to his prosecution and criminal charges. And he clearly won over Donald Trump in that moment as his defender. He also now, as a high-ranking DOJ official, was involved in dismissing the corruption charges against the New York City Mayor Eric Adams, which led to a bunch of resignations within the Justice Department and the U.S. Attorney's Office related to that. He also has been alleged to have suggested disregarding court orders, which Julie touched on, according to some whistleblower accounts. So that is in part what makes him so controversial as a nominee. What else can Democrats do at this point? Is there anything as the minority party for them, any other cards for them to play?
Well, obviously, picking off a couple more moderate Republicans, you're always asking people to step up, and it's been a calamity because there aren't a lot of courageous Republicans who will push back against this kind of nominee or push back against bad legislation. And so, the only thing you have right now is the bully pulpit. And as this nominee moves to the floor of the Senate, I doubt that Thune will shutdown debate. There will be a back and forth. There's always opportunity for filibuster. And so there is going to be the day in court. And I think they're just trying to figure out in the majority, how do they handle something that's this red hot? And like I said, there is tons of people on the outside, not just members of the minority. There's Republican attorneys who are saying this is a very bad choice. And again, because there is this rumor that he would be front row and center for a nominee for the Supreme Court, it's critically important that you make the case right now, because we heard over and over again, if you don't like this person, why did you put him on the circuit court? Why did you give him a district court appointment? And so the Democrats are naturally going to be very, very hesitant to move anyone onto into a position, a point, where they approve them or are part of that, where they don't make the case against them right now.